3 mindsets that you need to get better with women. I'm gonna be going over some powerful concepts here that I rarely hear discussed that are gonna help skyrocket not just your dating life, but also your self-development journey towards becoming a high-value dude. In point number 1, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys a video that I took of myself in 2019 and how that ties into the mentality you need to have right now to get success. In point number 2, I'm gonna be telling a story about how one of my mentors recently pointed out a massive blind spot within myself and how you guys could do the same. And in point number 3, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys some embarrassing photos of myself. About 6 or 7 months ago, I was not in a good place mentally or physically, so I'm gonna be peeling back the curtain, showing you guys what was going on and how I was able to make a transformation out of that. Guys, do yourselves a favor, watch this video in full. By the end of this video, you're gonna have a massive paradigm shift, a massive shift in your mentality that you need to have in order to actually make it through this journey and get the results you're looking for. Okay, that was the main thing that separated me from most men, which brings us into the first point of my mentality going into this was, as long as I don't quit, I will win. There will be ups and downs in this journey, guys. There will be periods where you have a little bit of success. There will be a lot of periods where you're hitting failure, frustration, stagnation, and it feels like you're at a wall. It feels like you're in a down period. It feels like there's these moments where it's just not, you're just not on cloud 9, okay? And in the beginning of this thing, that's the majority of what's gonna be going on. All right, and the main thing that separates guys that make it through this and that don't is their mentality in these down periods, their mentality when there's no progress or it seems like things aren't really working. And it's in those moments where you need to have this mindset. It's a crucial part to make it to that point where you actually hit your first big breakthrough. The only reason you're giving up during failures is because the negative self-talk and the lack of reframing in those moments to help you see a bigger picture. You end up hitting that first wall, that first negative moment, uncomfortable moment, depression moment, periods where you're not making that progress, and the self-talk, your negative self-talk starts beating you down. You start talking shit on yourself. You start thinking you're never gonna be worthy of it. You're never gonna get the success you're looking for. And that's when you end up quitting or giving up. You don't ever make it past that first hump to get that big breakthrough. If I were to look at my own journey, guys, my first year was just absolute shit. Honestly, I don't even really count my first year of my journey because the first 9 months of my journey, I literally just sat there watching videos. It took me almost a year to come to the conclusion and learn the lesson that watching videos alone is not going to help me get success or take action or get any results with women and dating. Okay, once I came to that conclusion, it was at that point that I finally decided to hire a coach who then held me accountable, showed me the step-by-step plan I needed, pushed me through those first couple baby steps, and it was actually 6 months after that that I finally started to get some level of results. The big problem with a lot of you dudes is that I just think guys don't even make it to the 6-month mark. Like, you don't even get off the ground and you're already quitting, and that's why this first mindset is so important to have, guys. Any art form that you actually put 6 to 12 months into, you're gonna get a result, but you're actually doing the art form, okay? You're not just watching videos on how to play the piano expecting to get better. You need to also play the piano, okay? And that's why I attribute a lot of my success to YouTube, is because I came into this thing with the right mindset. I came into YouTube with the mindset of, okay, this is gonna be a long, slow grind. I'm gonna be putting out 2 videos every single week for a year, and my goal at the end of the year is to have 1,000 subscribers. I'm not expecting to go viral and blow up. I'm expecting to slowly, diligently put out 2 videos a week, get 1% better after every video, learn from my mistakes, and by the end of the year, I will have accumulated enough knowledge and action taking to get me to a certain reasonable result, okay? And after about 10 months, I actually hit about 1,500 subscribers, and it wasn't until that second year in the journey that the channel really took off. And had I have gotten burnt out or frustrated or confused at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and let the negative self-talk creep in, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have even realized I was actually on the brink or on the cusp of the channel taking off, and I would have quit ahead of time. And that's exactly what a lot of you guys are doing with your social life and your dating life. All right, I'll put up a video right now that I recorded in 2019 showing you guys me starting my channel that confirms my mindset. It's May 20th, 2019, and I'm making this video to show you that Coach Kyle channel currently has 3 videos up, 4 subscribers, and a total of 100 views. And I'm making this video mainly for myself and for everybody to show you that I will not stop pursuing this and I will continue to grow this channel. Stay tuned, very excited for what the future has to hold. That video confirms everything I'm saying in this first point, how to have the right mindset, how to deal with reframing negative times or periods where you're not having the most progress, the biggest breakthroughs. You gotta start seeing this as a more long-term thing and understand that as long as I don't quit, I will win. Let's move into the second mindset of this video, which is if you're not getting the result right now, then you're not asking the right questions. If you're not already getting massive results, if you're not already taking extreme levels of action, if you're not already making massive progress on a day-to-day basis, you need to ask yourself, why the fuck not? Like most of you guys right now, if I were to ask you, dude, like where do you rate your social life or your dating life or your physique, your grooming, your fashion, your sex life? Like where do you rate that right now, 1 to 10? I bet you a lot of you dudes from most of these categories would say something like a 3 out of 10, a 5 out of 10, or like a 7 out of 10. And to that, I would ask you, why the fuck is that okay? Like if you're watching this video right now, and if some of these categories aren't a 10 out of 10, you need to ask yourself, why the fuck is it not a 10 out of 10? All right, and that brings me to a story that I want to share with you guys. It was a recent epiphany I had. I was actually on a coaching call with one of my mentors. I hire a lot of mentors every single year. I've spent over 200K on coaches and mentors in the last 4 years approximately. So I spend a lot on mentors to get direct coaching in my own life. I practice what I preach in these videos, right? So I hopped on this coaching call. It was a group call. There was nobody else with their camera on other than the coach. He's going around the room saying, oh, it's interesting, we don't have that many questions today. At which point he actually calls on me and says, hey Kyle, like, do you have any questions about anything? At that point, I did an internal scan of myself and thought about, is there any questions that would be worthy enough to ask on this public Q&A? At which point I said, no, honestly, no questions. He asked me, oh, okay, well, I mean, where are you at with everything in terms of your goals? Where are you at with everything in terms of like your mindset and your business in relation to your 1 month, 2 month, 3 month goals? Where are you at in terms of progress this week? Or where are you at right now versus last month with all of these things regarding X, Y, and Z? And it was after having a little bit of back and forth dialogue with him that he was actually able to point out blind spots that I didn't even realize I wasn't doing. It was in those moments he actually set up a game plan for me over the next 1 to 2 weeks about what I need to do right now to get success in that area of my life. And I walked away from that call thinking to myself like, damn, this is probably what a lot of my subscribers or my fans or even my clients before they join my program, this is probably what a lot of them are experiencing too. It's like, you think you know the answer, you think everything's okay until somebody actually calls you out on the thing, right? Like when clients come into my program, we find out very, very quickly where the fuck you're at and call you out on the bullshit about as to why it's not okay. Because most of you dudes right now, if I were to ask you like, where are you at with your dating life? Like what would you rate your dating life? Like 1 to 10? Oh, 6 out of 10? Got it. Do you have any questions about that? No. Yeah, I'm like a 6 out of 10, Kyle. No questions about it though. Motherfucker, you better have some fucking questions. You're a 6 out of 10 in this category and you don't have any questions? Because that tells me you're not asking the right questions, dude. All right, because here's the thing, if I ask you, you might even think you know the answer as to why it's like that. You're like, oh, I'm a 6 out of 10 because of this. But here's the thing, whatever the answer is internally as to why you're a 6 out of 10 right now, that is the same thing that is stopping you, that you need to be aware of. That's the blind spot right now in your own life that's stopping you to get to the next level, okay? For a lot of you dudes, just being aware of this is already gonna get the ball rolling and bringing more awareness to it. I have a feeling for most of you guys though, it's not gonna be enough to just suddenly solve all your problems. But I'm just letting you guys know that's how I did it. That's how a lot of my clients have done it too. If you want help with this, guys, if you want help building your social confidence, getting more women, more dates, click the link in the description. You can apply to work with me directly to overcome these problems, okay? But that's bullet point number 2, which is if you're not getting the results right now, if you're not getting massive progress in your life right now, then you're simply not asking the right questions. So now that we understand the mindset coming into this thing, how to stay consistent, how to reframe negative self-talk, as well as how to call yourself out on your own bullshit and figure out what are the questions I actually need to be asking to get to the next level, I now want to talk about the third point, which is understanding where you're at and how to lay the path moving forward, which is simply this. Wherever you're at, it's okay, but at the same time, it's really not okay. No one's gonna call you out on your bullshit. Your mom's not gonna call you out on your bullshit. Your parents are still gonna love you. Your granny is still gonna love you. Your friends aren't gonna call you out on your shit. Your friends don't even want you to actually get better with this stuff. You're in this thing alone right now, okay? And no one is here to save you. Now, what that means is that it's gonna be on you to unbiasedly be able to call yourself out on bullshit. It's gonna be on you to unbiasedly do an evaluation, a self-evaluation to see where you're at with these categories and make a conclusion as to why you think it's okay that you're only blank out of 10 in that category. And more importantly, what the fuck are you gonna do to get better with that thing? Okay, and that brings us into this point. Wherever you're at right now, it's okay. And what I mean by that is this is a big part of as to why you guys fuck up with this, is because whatever's happened, wherever you're at, it's okay, dude. Like, it really is. You guys see where you're at right now, you start putting yourself down, you start talking shit, well, I suck at this, I'm never gonna be good at this, or she rejected me because of this, or she's gonna reject me because I'm not shit. You start putting yourself down so much, you don't even accept that it's okay for where you're at. And that's half of this part. But at the same time, it's also not okay in a sense that we need to accept where we're at, but we also need to create that urgency that we got to start moving forward with this thing now. If we're 6 out of 10 with this, it's all good. It's okay that that's where we're at. Whatever happened, it is what it is, dude. But at the same time, wherever we're at, we now have the rest of our life moving forward to make progress with this shit, and the clock of life is ticking. It's like if in a game, I just dropped your current character into the world, I just spawned you into the world right now while you're watching this video, right? It's like whatever your character is, it's all good. You have some like deformity, you've been through some trauma, the character's beat up, he's got a weak mental brain, he's lost on the map, it's all good, whatever happened. But we're now spawned into the game, and we now have the rest of the game of life, and the clock is ticking for us to move forward. And the problem with what you dudes do is like your character just spawned and you're sitting there talking shit on the character. Oh, but like this guy's like fucked up, or it looks like he went through this, or he doesn't look right, and that character's like this, or that character's really good. My character doesn't look like him. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. The game just spawned right now, dude. The game just started right now. Whatever the fuck happened before, I don't give a fuck. And you shouldn't either. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We're here right now. The game started right now. We got to start moving forward. That's how you got to start looking at this. Wherever you're at, it's okay, but also unbiasedly figure out where you're at. And it's also not okay. Create some urgency and let's move forward, because the clock is ticking and everybody is in the same game. Everybody's in the same game. Everybody starts at a different level. You all have the opportunities. You all have the roadmaps. They're all there though, dude. Like it really is possible. All right, I'll put some pics up on the screen right now. This is me in May. This is me in May going into June, really. This was a Memorial Day weekend. This was me, okay? I was fat as fuck. The problem that happened was I was bulking throughout the winter, and I was telling myself it was okay because I was actually getting bigger. And if you looked at me, I was able to carry the weight pretty well, especially with a shirt on. But at some point I looked at myself and I was like, dude, I'm fat as fuck and this is not okay. All right, now what I didn't do was sit there and start talking shit on myself. Damn, dude, you're ugly. No girl's gonna want you. You got such a long way to go. This is gonna be difficult. No, none of that mattered. Accepted wherever I was at, it's okay. This is where I'm at right now. All right, at the same time, it's not okay because my physique was really like a 6 out of 10. I was probably fatter than a lot of you guys are. And right now, I would say I'm a lot leaner than a lot of you guys are. I'm in arguably the best physique of my life. I've made a massive transformation over the last 6 months. The way that I did it was accepting where I was at, understanding it's also not okay where I'm at, and then understanding that I have a long road ahead of myself. And I just stayed focused one day at a time. I started asking myself the questions about what do I need to do right now? What do I need to do right now to start making progress? What have I been doing that hasn't been working, and what I need to do right now to just make 1% improvements daily, all right? And I think I was so dialed on my meal plan. I think for 16 weeks in a row, I didn't miss a single meal. I didn't have a single cheat meal. And so for 4 months straight, almost, I was damn near perfect on my diet. And then this is, so I'll throw some pics out. You can see the progression of me kind of losing weight. And this is where my current physique is at right now, okay? I made a massive transformation with that, all right? And it's because I had these mindsets, right? And so now that you understand these mindsets, I have a final question that I want to pose to you, which is, what is the story of you? What is the story you're telling yourself when you wake up in the morning? okay? When you look in the mirror, you take a shit, you think about your day, you think about your week, what is the story you're telling yourself? Because whatever that story is regarding your goals, the level of girls in your life, the level of social confidence, the amount of money you're making, your job, your confidence level, all these things, whatever that story is, that's pretty much the level that you're gonna be getting in your life. You're not just gonna think that you're at this level and the story you're telling yourself is here, and then suddenly you land a girl or a job or the amount of money that's up here. It just doesn't work that way, okay? And obviously, you can work with coaches and surround yourself with like-minded dudes that will push you higher, right? Like that's literally what I do is I help dudes fast track that. I give you the mentalities. Like from this video, you get to see where my mind is at and take that mentality and implement it into your own brain. And over time, that can get you to higher and higher levels. But think about this right now about like, what is the story you're telling yourself for this week or for this month? What's the story you tell yourself when the negative self-doubt comes in? What's the story you tell yourself when you're not getting the progress you want? Right? Think back to the first mindset of this. What's the story you're telling yourself? Are you gonna quit? Are you gonna give up? Are you putting yourself down in those moments, dude? What are the questions you're asking? What's the questions you're asking yourself when you look at these categories, when you rate yourself 7 out of 10? What's the story you're telling yourself in that moment? What's the questions you're asking your mentors? Do you have coaches right now that are at higher levels, that are calling you out on your bullshit, holding you accountable, pushing you through these things? Okay? This should be a massive, massive wake-up call for a lot of you dudes. All right? If you're not at the levels you want, or you're not getting the progress you want, or you're not asking the right questions, or you have the wrong negative self-talk, there's no fucking way in hell you're gonna get better with this shit, guys. It's gonna lead to burnout, it's gonna lead to frustration, confusion, and when those low moments happen, that's when a lot of dudes quit with this thing. So I hope this was eye-opening. If you wanna get better with this shit, if you wanna work with me directly, to call you out on your bullshit, to do an unbiased evaluation on you, to give you the step-by-step guidance you need to make progress in your day-to-day life right now, one day at a time, 1 week at a time, to push you to get more social confidence, more women, more dates, I can help you with that. Click the link in the description, book out a free consultation call. You have nothing to lose, literally. As I'm saying this, there's some negative self-talk that's going into your own mind right now, dude. Fuck that negative self-talk. It's time to make a change. You have nothing to lose. Click the link in the description, book out that free consultation call, okay? That's all for this video, guys. We'll talk soon. Peace out.